I heard this story and I was just sitting there going, what in the world? One, why didn't the Biden administration charge these folks? And two, how is this woman still working for the University of Michigan? Okay, so the name of this here fungus that you're about to hear about is Fusarium graminearum. Yeah, redneck trying to pronounce fancy words. But this boyfriend of this University of Michigan student slash employee, because they're saying that she was employed by the University of Michigan, tried to bring in this deadly and toxic fungus into the United States. Now they're both studying this. He's studying it for the Chinese Communist Party, and he didn't bring it in officially. No, he put it into some kind of tissue, found a wad of tissues in a pocket of Lou's backpack. Now, let me let you hear the news program on this silliness. And then you tell me.
Howdy, y'all. This is Paul, the Redneck Thinker. What we have here is a channel to communicate. I want you folks to be thinking by the time you leave my videos. Why? Because I'm tired of people talking via what other people tell them to think. So, watch my video and enjoy the chance to think for yourself.
Well, Fox 2 continued to follow a news alert today involving two Chinese nationals accused of smuggling a dangerous pathogen into the United States.
And officials say the substance is a fungus that experts say could be used to threaten food crops if it spread. Fox 2's Amy Lang joining us live now with what else she's learned. Amy.
Well, the complaint has certainly made for some interesting reading, Ruth and Tara. Investigators say this fungus could be used in agro-terrorism. It wipes out crops and sickens people and animals. And right now, it's just not clear what these Chinese scientists intended to do.
My name is Yunqing Jie.
33-year-old Yuxin Jian, a scientist and student from China working as a postdoctoral research fellow in a lab at the University of Michigan. On Tuesday, inside federal court, charged with conspiracy, smuggling, and making false statements. It's alleged her boyfriend, 34-year-old Yang Lu, also a scientist from China, was caught at Detroit Metro Airport smuggling a dangerous fungus into the country. Fusarium graminearum attacks barley, corn, and wheat and could be used for purposes of agro-terrorism. According to this complaint, in July of 2024, Customs and Border Patrol found a wad of tissues in a pocket in Lu's backpack. Investigators say the tissues concealed a note in Chinese, a round piece of filter paper with a series of circles drawn on it, and 4 clear plastic baggies with small clumps of reddish plant material inside. Investigators say Lu lied about the materials before admitting he was smuggling them in to do research at the lab where his girlfriend was working at the University of Michigan. Investigators say Lu's iPhone contained an article titled 2018 Plant Pathogen Warfare Under Changing Climate Conditions. They also uncovered messages between the two conspiring to bring pathogens into the United States. He was denied entry and sent back. It's believed he's currently back in China. His girlfriend, Jian, is still here, now facing serious charges.
Conspiracy to commit an offense or defraud the United States, smuggling goods into the United States, false statements.
We're not allowed to have cameras in federal court, but I can tell you that this defendant looked very scared. She was handcuffed and shackled at the waist. She closed her eyes as the charges against her were read. According to the complaint, investigators say they found evidence that Jian smuggled biological materials into the United States prior to this, and that she is loyal to the Chinese Communist Party, which they say helped finance her studies and research.
Let me ask the government, what is your position on bond?
The government's seeking detention, Your Honor.
Seeking detention because they say she's a flight risk. The University of Michigan issued a statement condemning any actions that seek to cause harm or threaten national security. The university says it has received no funding from the Chinese government in relation to research conducted by the accused. So, yeah, just a very interesting read, not a fungus that I have heard
Right.
of before, and
Right.
so it was quite educational to explore all of this. And again, we don't really know what the intention was.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, just by the nature of what it is that's why it's being assumed agro-terrorism?
Well, I think it's the fact that it could be used in agro-terrorism, and the fact that this, was being done sort of in secret. There is a question as to why you would try to smuggle this in if you had any kinds of good intentions.
But the fact that the university is saying that we had no connection with this type of research in itself just really casts a negative light on anything that they claim on the other end.
Yeah, it's obviously a situation where this was clearly not allowed.
Yeah.
I mean, you wouldn't stick it in a crumpled up tissue in your pocket of your backpack if you were all on the up and up, right?
Sure.
So it's very
very
mysterious.
frightening, yeah.
It is.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah,
All right. Thanks,
absolutely.
Amy.
Sure.
Now, this is, I call it silliness. It really isn't silliness. It's dangerous. This is stuff that could decimate our crops and decimate our agriculture in this country, both our animals and our crops. And these folks are bringing this around in a way that can get it released. That was the point of this. China has quite a few times done things to destabilize the U.S. And this is just another example of that. Now, thankfully, Customs and Border Patrol found this stuff, but this isn't good for the U.S. Why this woman was still working at the University of Michigan, why this woman was allowed to have any access to this kind of dangerous stuff. This woman is, according to the complaint, Lou wanted to clone strains of the pathogen so it could be studied at the university. Why? And on top of that, Lou had previously worked as a postdoctoral fellow at the University of Texas for 5 years before shifting to the University of Michigan lab in 2023. Both Lou and Jian did research together at both universities, co-authoring academic articles that included work on the fungus. According to the complaint, investigators say they found evidence that Jian smuggled biological materials into the United States prior to this, and that she is loyal to the Chinese Communist Party, which they say helped finance her studies and research. Communications between the two reviewed by the FBI included separate discussions about smuggling seeds into the U.S., including one case in August 2022. During that case, Jian traveled to the U.S. from Seoul. She did not declare any biological materials after landing records show. In another instance, CCP agents in Louisville destroyed a package of filter papers with unknown substances found in a textbook that had been shipped to Jian's home in Ann Arbor from a different colleague in China. Why was this allowed to happen? And this was allowed to happen under Biden's administration. There comes a point where some common sense needs to be brought in, but you take a look at people like Merrick Garland and Mayorkas, and you realize they didn't have the best interest of the American people in at all. This is dangerous stuff. And if you want to keep eating, this ain't going to be the way to do it. We need to really examine what is going on with what happened during the Biden administration. I'm glad that these folks are finally charged, but this is some nasty stuff, and we need to quit allowing this to happen. This has been Paul, Redneck Thinker. Y'all have a good day now. Bye. So, folks, that's the story that I wanted to bring you on this video. And I just wanted to say thank you again for coming by. Hit like, subscribe, comment, all that fun stuff if you don't mind. Help me out. So, y'all have a good day now.